volumes to me and to others. Like, we can all read books, and I definitely do that, but it's just so powerful to have this strong community with one another.
Absolutely.
So I'm extra excited tonight because this is honestly my favorite topic out of the whole entire year. And if you aren't aware, we do these dive deeper calls monthly. And our group is awesome. So if you're here, you're lucky. If you're a part of us, you probably feel grateful. And our mission is to spread Young Living and the lifestyle to everyone. So getting Young Living on every doorstep makes the world a better place. And who couldn't agree that the world could use a little love and to be a better place these days? Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
oh my God, absolutely. But this is the best class out of the whole year. So if you have an opportunity to let a friend know last minute, it's okay to join a few minutes late. This is such a fun class. So if you have your Lucy Libido brochure, grab it. The first and most important thing to mention about Lucy's message, and this goes for every single one of us, no matter like what season of womanhood we're in, no matter if we've experienced motherhood or we have not, or we are in a relationship or we're not in a relationship. It has to do with the most important part of us, and that's our inner beauty. And that radiates from our soul. So often, especially like around Valentine's Day, a lot of times as women, we get caught up in how we think we're supposed to look or how we think we're supposed to be loved. And what's important to know is that each one of us has these two voices in our head, right? One is our critical voice, and the other is our sound, loving voice. And it's healthy for us and normal also to have a balance between the two. But what isn't healthy is when that critical voice kind of takes over and we start to question whether we're worthy enough for, like, if we're, worthy enough for our partner, or if we're beautiful enough, or if we measure up to the standards of society, or if we look good enough, or if we, whatever our characteristic traits. Really important is that we make sure that there's a healthy balance between those two voices. And we know wholeheartedly, without a doubt, that sorry, I lost my train of thought. that our inner voice is like our beauty, and our confidence is just as much part of us as, like, it's tied to us like our name, right? So if we hold on to that and we radiate that, it kind of, to me, is the same thing as like when we put on makeup, right? We're supposed to put on makeup to accentuate our natural look. We're not supposed to be putting on makeup so that we look like somebody else and we don't look anything remotely like ourselves. But the way that we speak to ourselves and the way that we present ourselves to the world should be radiant of our natural beauty. And just like our Savvy Minerals makeup in Young Living, which we'll get into this, but everything you put on your skin correlates to how your hormones and how you feel. So we talk Savvy Minerals makeup only on your face and our skincare, but just like that, honoring our skin and everything that we put on our body, that inner voice is the most important thing, that we honor ourselves and that we make that a part of who we are instead of being overcritical. So what I want everyone to do at this moment is to take your brochure if you have it. If you don't have it, just the same, grab your pen and the back of an envelope or a piece of mail or paper that you have handy, and write down unique hallmarks of yourself that equate to your own personal beauty. So just want to take a minute to exhale and write down the things that make you beautiful. They can be physical, they can be, you know, personality traits. We need to make sure that we emanate confidence, and being sexy is confident. Like, I don't know about you guys, but in looking for a mate, confidence is a very attractive quality. So exuding that confidence, even if you're having a down day where you don't feel maybe physically sexy, your confidence will override all of that. So again, that's that inner voice that needs to persevere. So write down for a few moments, what are your hallmarks of personal beauty? So once you've done that, underneath what you've written, we're going to hashtag I am beautiful. And we're going to hold on to that. And we're going to, I don't know about you guys, but I've never been to a party where we don't kick it off with a cocktail or a mocktail. Am I right?
Right. I'm ready.
Wait, that was like, I'm sorry, that was semi-lame. Guys, have you ever been to a party where you don't kick it off with a mocktail or a cocktail?
Woo! All right.
Because I'm needing the vibe. So yay! So I want to talk to you guys about a cocktail or a mocktail, however you choose to make it. But the foundation of this is going to really be understanding how Ningxia Red is so incredibly supportive for our bodies overall, most specifically for our hormones. So if you have a starter kit with Young Living, then you have these, right? Mm-hmm. You have that's right, Aubrey's got her Ningxia Red packets. And then when you are through with these, I mean, the best way to have them is to toss them in the refrigerator. Mike's so going to benefit from this call. And then when you run out, of course, we refill with these larger size bottles. So the cheapest way, you guys, to get your Ningxia Red on a daily regimen basis is through the Ningxia Red Essential Rewards Kit. So if you're not on Essential Rewards yet, for the love, I do not know what you are waiting for. It is like getting oils for free, and it's like Christmas every month. So Ningxia Red in the Essential Rewards exclusive pack is a really good value. You get packets in there, which are super convenient because I give these to my kids. I toss them in their lunch boxes. And then you get 4 of the bottles as well. So it comes out to a really great cost per ounce.
Why do I want to drink Ningxia Red, Katie?
Oh, don't worry. We're going to get to that. But a quick tip before I forget is that Ningxia Red fights free radicals in the body, and it's also like a natural internal sunscreen, which Jen has really good experience with. I don't think she really uses that much sunscreen. Her kids take Ningxia Red every few hours on the beach, and it really fights those rays from the sun. But I like to turn these into ice packs in the summer. A quick tip, I will toss these in the freezer, and then when I'm packing that snack bag for the beach, I'll throw these in and they become the ice packs. And then by the time we're ready to have the Ningxia, it's not only cold, but it's kept, the other snacks cold as well. You can also freeze them and cut them down low, and then they turn into a Ningxia ice pop themselves. So let's talk about Ningxia Red and why it's so amazing for us. Ningxia Red comes from this really special remote region in China where there's this like volcanic runoff and it makes the soil so rich and pristine. So Gary Young studied the history of the like indigenous people to that area and how they literally had the most anti-aging qualities to them than any other people in the world.
They had,
So
like,
he studied
people to live to be 100 years old, right? I think they had the
yeah
most
Yes, and I'll
Yeah.
just, related to the subject of the call tonight, he talked to a man who was 105 who asked Gary how he could increase his stamina and libido with his wife. And this man was 105, if I remember right. And Gary said, "Well, do you mind me asking? Well, how often do you have sex with your wife?" He said, "Oh, 2 to 3 times a week." And Gary said, "What's your problem?" So Ningxia Red truly is an anti-aging food that was such a huge part of this culture that these people were out. They didn't lose their eyesight. They were out gardening. Didn't have arthritis. They didn't have dementia. They didn't have any of this typical
Yeah.
old age stuff. And what do you need to really have fun time in bed other than sleeping is energy. So Ningxia is fabulous for that. And it also, you were probably going to say this, but it's very cleansing. So it keeps our cells clean. It keeps our liver clean. It keeps our kidneys clean, which keeps us just flat healthier. So I just had to kind of stick that story.
Yeah.
It was a really fun one.
No, that's amazing. But stamina, of course, and energy and stamina is directly relative to our hormone balance in our body. And that doesn't just go for women, it goes for men as well. But so let's talk about where are hormones really created in the body? Where do they relate to the pituitary gland in the brain and how do they balance? Well, most of that starts, just about all of that, I think, Peggy, is that right? Over 85% of hormone production is in the gut.
Mm-hmm. And in the liver, actually.
And also in the liver. Okay. So Ningxia Red is a superfood antioxidant. I don't really call it it's not even really a supplement. It's more of a food because of the wolfberries that are in here are not only anti-inflammatory and anti-aging, but they also fight free radicals in the body. So they support eye health. I know people personally who have stopped having their vision decline by taking Ningxia Red on a daily basis. Or Maida, are you one of them? Yeah. So their vision is declining and then they incorporate this on a daily basis. Could be 2 ounces a day is what's recommended. You could do a shot of Ningxia Red, but what we're getting is a really low glycemic panel. So it's really, really good for people that have diabetes, can even take Ningxia Red. Because when we want to support our immune system and our hormones, we don't want sugar, right? Sugar's kind of negates those efforts. This is very low glycemic and it is a whole food puree. So the best way to support hormone production, which directly relates to our thyroid panel, our seasons of life as a woman, our efforts in fertility, and when we are pregnant, which can be a result of a Valentine's Day plus oils class, beware. There are many Progessence Plus babies out there. We'll talk about that. But Ningxia Red makes for an incredibly luscious and rich and healthy placenta. I've had my own encapsulation scientists come back and kind of tell me, like, that was such a gorgeous red. So it's like you're almost making like a Ningxia Red organ. Your body is building an organ, which is fascinating when you're pregnant, to sustain that life growing inside of you. So nourishing it with Ningxia is incredible. But in the season of it being Valentine's Day, we could probably have a whole class on Ningxia Red. Am I right, Peggy?
Yeah, I think
In the
good.
season of Valentine's Day, when you're with your honey and you're maybe not talking about, I mean, hormones isn't the most sexy word out there, but let's be honest, it really does relate to how we feel. We all go through those phases every month, and it can be either a dragon time or it can be kind of seamless and easy. And we are meant to go through these periods with ease, periods, pun intended. So I'm going to share with you guys a Ningxia mocktail and how you can turn that into a cocktail if you want. So what you'll need to get is your wine glass and add in approximately an ounce. Maybe a little bit more for good measure. And then next, I like to choose my oils. So a very, very anti-aging oil that you want to be careful you only use 1 drop of. I don't know if you guys can see longevity is an amazing essential oil blend. It also comes in a supplement from Young Living. You can put it in a capsule, but I'm going to add 1 because it has thyme. So if you add, 2 drops, it's not the most delicious. So I'm going to do 1 drop. Longevity essential oil blend has clove, which is the highest antioxidant essential oil on the planet. Say what?
Mhm.
And it also has thyme, which is extremely anti-aging. And then the next essential oil I'm going to add, notice these are my vitality oils.
I would say longevity is also really good for immune support too.
Yes.
Oh, it's good.
Yes.
Ningxia Red in itself is amazing for immune support. Incredible. Guys, it has prebiotics in it and probiotics. So those prebiotics are what we need in our gut to bind the probiotics to it so that we are creating healthy hormone levels in the body. So Ningxia Red itself has uzu essential oil in it, which is really special and rare. And it also has some tangerine, but I love tangerine so much. I'm going to add 1 or 2 drops of that. And then something fun, you guys, that you can do with your Ningxia Red that my kids love to do. These were like $3 on Amazon. These are little silicone heart molds. Can you see them?
Yeah.
Super cute. We've made gummy bears in these molds with Ningxia and elderberry syrup, and they make really fun ice cubes. But I use these larger molds for today, these little Valentine inspired ones. And I froze some fruit in there. I don't know if you can see, I chose blueberries. You can put little chunks of mango in there. So then you can just take out your little ice cubes and put them in your cocktail. So you have some frozen fruit in there as well.
So cute. So that's Ningxia Red and frozen blueberries.
Yep. You could do strawberries, raspberries would be really cute too. And if you were going to add a little champagne to this, raspberries would be delicious. So next I'm going to add, I have an organic white wine here. So you can make a white wine Ningxia Red spritzer with your oils and some frozen fruit. Or depending on what kind of day it's been, what kind of party it is,
Woo!
you can Tito's it up however you want.
Titoed mine up. We're good to go.
Vanessa's ready.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go Tito's tonight, but what I am going to do is probably put in a splash of my white wine, and then you're going to top it off with your favorite seltzer. So
Yeah,
I'm
so
using a
the
lemon
oils-
wine.
The oils were 1 drop of longevity and 1 or 2 drops of tangerine, right? We had a question to recap that.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Now you could switch it up, but I'm using seltzer. You can use a coconut seltzer or flavored or whatever your favorite is. And cheers.
I'm super curious at how the longevity tastes in there.
So 2 drops, not awesome. 1 drop. It makes it like earthy because it plays off of the tangerine really, really well. I love it.
I would have never thought of that, but you're a
Mhm.
fabulous chef. So yeah, I'll try it.
Is longevity supposed to burn? Well,
It is-
notice I added it right after the Ningxia Red, and then I'm adding my other ingredients on top. So I see it the same way as you would put your oils in the diffuser. Yeah, Jessica says it's the clove, but I feel like it's more the thyme.
It is
I
the
taste the-
time.
Yeah, I taste
thyme.
the residue of the thyme on my lips.
Mhm.
So if you don't want longevity, you can use a drop of thieves to support your immune system. Remember, the Ningxia Red in here in itself is supportive of our hormone balance
See,
in our body.
really important. I'll just reiterate that you put the longevity and your other oils with the Ningxia before anything else, and that will help emulsify them. Otherwise, if you put the water and then put your oils in on top, all the oils are going to sit on the top, and you're going to feel anything right on your lips. So that was a really important tip.
Yeah, it's an important tip, although some hot lips around this time of the month, not such a bad idea.
Well, I don't know if that's what they meant by that. I'm just
No,
saying
I know.
cinnamon.
Yeah, so you want to like mix your oils into the Ningxia and then put your seltzer water on top, or your wine or your champagne on top, and then your Ningxia ice cubes will melt and it'll be it'll be really great. Same thing when we do our diffuser. I like, just a side tip, I like to put my essential oils in my diffuser first, and then I like to add my water. So I'm kind of like combining the oils and they're kind of, getting mixed into the water. So not only does the scent and the experience last longer, but it's more efficient in the diffuser as well. So they're not floating right on top. By the time you're on that last 20 minutes of your diffuser running, it's very faint. So
Should we do it?
I do that when I add oils to my water too. So I'll put the ice in and then I put the oils on top of the ice and then the water. And so it doesn't, because you're right, Peggy, it does
Yeah.
sit on top. And then that first sip you take, you're like, ugh,
Yeah.
yes,
too much.
it can. It can.
Even for hardcore oilers like us, it can be a little much if it's sitting
Yeah.
on the
So
top.
if you want to add, so for my kids, I'll add a kefir or kefir, however you say it, because it's high fat.
Mhm.
So it could be goat milk or whole milk or whatever, or a vegan version of the kefir. And I'll make like a creamsicle type of Ningxia Red drink for them. I'll put the Ningxia Red in the glass, and then I'll add the kefir, and I'll put usually a drop of copaiba and a drop of orange or tangerine or a drop of thieves. And because the kefir is so high fat, it really does combine and kind of emulsify the oils, because my kids are not going to be fond of anything where there's a drop of oil floating at the top. I mean, let's be honest.
So
It's
can I
just
say
not.
something? Can I say something?
Yeah.
So when Peggy had mentioned about the eyesight, my mother was diagnosed with the macular degeneration, and they were looking for a prescription for her. And they said there is no longer anything that they could do. I started her on the Ningxia, and the one day she picked up her phone and looked at it and read the time. And then she started reading things that she couldn't read before. And now we have a pair of glasses that she's using. Like, that's huge to share, because they said there is nothing. She couldn't even see her phone. She only has it in case someone calls, but she couldn't even find numbers in her phone, and she now can.
That's
awesome.
incredible. And you know about the supplement Illuminize.
I do not.
Oh, that would be fabulous for her. It's a supplement that is specifically for eye health. So it's a really concentrated form of nutrients that are balanced perfectly in the exact elements that are needed for eye health. So that's the supplement that came out 2 or 3 years ago, and I love that.
Okay, that's important. Thank you.
Yeah. So
Can we do a group cheers if anybody made a cocktail? or mocktail, or has their Ningxia pouch.
So mine was a cocktail before we started, and then I just added in the.
Yeah, mine was too, and it's almost gone already. I guess I should make another one.
I'm gonna try to take a photo
Peggy.
too, although we're 2 screens, but everybody, cheers to being beautiful.
Can we do it, Vanessa, with our I am beautiful hashtag?
Yeah.
Should we do that? Should everyone, so if you have a cocktail, hold it up. If you have your reasons that you're beautiful with your hashtag, or you have both, hold those up.
Yep.
Vanessa,
This
if
is
you
for
take,
all of you. I have this in a frame for all of you. I don't know if you guys can see my,
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Vanessa, are you gonna take a picture?
Well, I saw Jen was holding up her phone.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I can you do the second screen?
Oh yeah, can you do the second screen?
Yeah, I'll do the second screen, Jen, if you want to do the first screen.
Sure, got it.
Thank you.
So I'm going to, okay, yeah, everyone smile. And then I'm going to jump into a DIY. Now this DIY, so DIY stands for do it yourself, right? Comes from this book. So this is called Lucy Libido. Says there's an oil for that. And it is an excellent book on this topic. If you have the brochure, that brochure came from Lucy Libido. She has a Facebook group that's phenomenal. If you want to, just message me, I can add you to her group. There's lots of information in her group too. But we're going to do something called an inner thigh potion. And there's all different variations to the inner thigh potion. But the way we make it, it's in a roller bottle. So if you have a roller bottle handy, you're gonna grab your roller bottle, open it up, make sure the top is not on. And my roller bottle is a little bit small. If you guys don't, if you need the recipes written, if you can't follow along with,
I'm gonna type them in, Jen, as you.
Okay, good. Yeah, Vanessa will
good.
type it in, but it's also on the blog. If you go to plusoils.com/blog, I put all the recipes there if you like things written rather than verbally hearing them. So everyone learns differently. So, so I get my oil bottle, and when I make essential oil recipes, I'm like a Latin cook. I do not count like cups or measurements or anything. I just kind of go for it and hope for the best. And it always works out. So the oils that I'm putting in this roller, and you can, if you don't have these oils, I'll give an alternative. But I'm putting in this inner thigh potion, I'm going to put Clary sage. Okay, so Clary sage, let me tell you about Clary sage. Clary sage has phytoestrogens in it. And this is a special ingredient for the inner thigh potion, as Lucy Libido will say, to keep the turkey juicy. Okay, so no one likes a dry turkey. Okay, so and it works. Like, if you don't believe me, try it and you'll see.
So we just got a question. I just want to clarify. This recipe is good for all ages, whoever is wanting bedroom fun for themselves or with a partner.
Yes. So Jess said that she uses Clary sage alone as an inner thigh potion, and I've done that too. So inner thigh means you're going to run this roller bottle from the upper thigh on the inside all the way down to your knee. So that's your inner thigh, right? So so Clary sage is going to go in it. Cypress. Now cypress is an essential oil that is super good for circulation. Both words start with the letter C. Cypress and circulation start with the letter C. Cypress I have used for circulation and other things. People with Raynaud's syndrome will find that it's helpful for the circulation of their hands. I've used it for when I had remember Peggy, when I had that staph infection in my finger?
Sure do.
The oils were not doing a thing until I increased my circulation with cypress. So cypress starts with letter C, so does circulation. That's how I remember that. And then I think orange is in here just because it smells nice. I don't know. Is there a reason why orange is in this inner thigh potion?
Yeah, orange increases microcirculation.
Oh, okay. So yeah, circulation again.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do,
Jen, I know there's some questions about what bottle size you're using.
this is probably 3 ounces.
I just typed
3 milliliters.
the recipe that I'm going to be typing in all the recipes, guys. The recipe that I typed in is for a 10 milliliter roller bottle.
Yeah, you can use 10 milliliter roller bottle. This is a 3 milliliter. I believe this is 3 milliliters. And so I'm going to do.
Kind of looks like a 5. Are you sure it's not as big as our 15? I mean, no. Are you sure? It looks like a 15 milliliter.
This is 5.
Oh, is that? Oh, wow, that is small.
That's a small one.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do in this one, I'm gonna do 10 drops of Clary sage.
Do the little one. The small one, yeah. Okay. 10 drops. Yeah.
I'm doing 10. If you have a bigger bottle, maybe you want to do 20. Like I said, I am a Latin cook when it comes to do it yourself. So if you put 15 or 22 or whatever, that's fine. You're good. You're good to go. And then it's like half the amount. So I did 10 drops of Clary sage. So I'm going to do 5 drops of the cypress and 5 drops of the orange. So if you did 20 drops of the Clary sage, then you're going to do half of that, which is 10 drops. So I'm going to do, in here, I'm going to do 5 drops of my cypress. 5, 6 fell in, but that's okay. That's how it is.
Well, more circulation is always better.
Yeah.
Whenever an extra drop falls in for me, I always assume it's because my body needs it and there's a reason for it. So don't fret, you guys, about an extra drop.
Yeah. And I'm putting 5 drops of the orange. So same amount of drops as the cypress for orange. All right, so that's that. And I don't know if you can see, but it's like not filled up all the way. So the rest of the way, I'm going to fill it up with this is my V6 vegetable carrier oil. You can use any kind of liquid carrier oil, fractionated coconut oil. I like Young Living's V6 carrier oil because it's designed for use with the oils, right? So it has the right viscosity. It also doesn't stain my clothes like other carrier oils.
Or your sheets.
Or my sheets.
What about sensation oil, Jen? The massage oil.
Oh, do you know how I use that?
I would put it in my inner thigh roller recipe, but I don't know.
So
why don't you tell us how you use it?
So I don't know if I shared this with anyone, but we use the Sensation massage oil as like straight up lubricant.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Nice.
I don't dilute it or anything. I just use it straight from the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And that is super convenient. So if you go in my room and you see the Sensation bottle, that's my bed.
Or I'll just add that if you like a more lotiony kind of thing, the lotion works really well for that as well.
Okay, Sensation lotion.
Yep.
Yeah. So the only thing is if you're using condoms, oils and condoms don't mix.
Mm-mm.
So, but oils as an inner thigh potion and condoms will mix, right? So that's totally fine. But putting oils up in there and then using condoms, that's going to be
no.
That'll degrade that's not good for that'll defeat the purpose of the condom. So so that's my inner thigh potion, and there are many variations to that in the book. And Vanessa, do you have the blog open where we can talk about the starter kit alternatives? So if you don't have Clary sage, cypress, and orange, and you just have your starter kit oils, what did we say for that?
I typed it in a recipe for a sweet perfume of Stress Away and lemon.
Okay, so yeah, so you can do a roller in your roller bottle. You can make a sweet perfume, especially for Valentine's Day with Stress Away and lemon. And then what you would do, I mean, this is my inner thigh potion, but you just rub it on like a perfume, right? And you just roll on your roller bottle. But this actually makes a lovely perfume too, now that I smell it. Just rub it all over your body. I need a couple bigger bottles.
Jen, can you talk about how Clary Sage supports the female cycle?
Yeah, so
for a second, like why would we want to use that on a monthly basis aside from the between the sheets, like the thigh roller? Which I don't know if you guys have used oils for sex yet, but they make
We use them for everything. Are you kidding me?
What?
We use them for everything.
Yeah,
I want to hear from Kate. Look at her, she's reacting. Like if they make a difference.
Yeah, and they make a difference. I mean, yes, absolutely. And the inner thigh roll on, that like I'm glad I got a fresh bottle of this. So I'll be using this.
And I will just
sometimes do Cyprus and Clary Sage, like between your thighs.
So you asked me about Clary Sage. So Clary Sage has phytoestrogens. So your body makes estrogen, right? Phytoestrogens is what you find in plants, and xenoestrogens, that starts with the letter X, is what you find in like chemicals, right? So like parabens and phthalates and things like that. That's in your shampoos and lotions and stuff. So xenoestrogens are the most destructive to your hormones. Your body will see it as estrogen, but it's sending all the wrong messages. Phytoestrogens, plant-based estrogens, are going to work in harmony with your body. Just how God put Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, plants just work in harmony with us. So the phytoestrogens in Clary Sage helps to balance out our estrogen levels. And you can use it daily if you find that you need that balance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for women of all ages and any parts of your womanhood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It supports, I just want to add that it supports the function of the uterus. So when your uterus is trying to, let's say, birth a child, it's supporting the function of what your body is intending to do at that time.
Oh, yeah.
When your uterus is in the midst of helping you to experience your period, the Clary Sage is so supportive because it is in synergy with your body and what your body is trying to achieve at that time. So essential oils are so dynamic for us that they don't throw our body like so strong into one direction. It's not like a pharmaceutical at all, but rather so supportive and in unison with what we are intended to experience at that time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Jess had a question about.
I just want to add, you shouldn't use Clary Sage during your third trimester of pregnancy unless you're ready to.
Yeah, unless you're in active labor.
In active labor, it will work to ripen your cervix for.
Right. Or if you go past due and you want to avoid induction, then you want to have Clary Sage on hand.
So about moods. Now, that's probably the number one question that I get as an educator for Young Living is, with hormones, what can I do? Or my husband wants me to get on some oils that help with my moods before I get my period. So I say the two biggest things that I get, and Katie and Vanessa and Peggy, I'd like your input too, but Super B, it's a B complex that is very nourishing to the adrenal glands, and that's all important. And in combination with Chlorescence Plus. And those two products from Young Living overwhelmingly is what I get the most positive feedback from our members.
Game changer.
Super B, you will notice a difference like almost same day when you start it. You'll notice a difference with your energy. You'll feel better. Chlorescence Plus is going to take maybe 2 or 3 cycles to notice a difference in that. So you kind of that's more of a long game player. But it's also important to know. So think of a pendulum, right? So if you have, Peggy described this to me. So if you have a pendulum and your hormones are really far on one side of the spectrum, and you think about the analogy of the pendulum, it's going to swing really far to the other end. So when I started Progessence Plus, I went from minor moodiness to like really cranky, right? So it took a while for my pendulum to then find that center balance. It took about like 2 or 3 cycles for me to get centered. So stay with it, be patient with Progessence Plus, and know that Super B, you'll notice that's gonna give you more of an instant gratification when it comes to feeling better.
Jen, while you're on the subject of Progessence Plus, could you describe what this actually does and who created it and how important this is throughout a woman's entire life so if you could speak to that.
We talked about estrogens in Clary Sage. Progessence Plus, which I don't have my bottle with me, it's upstairs, but I'll use my finger to
I can get mine.
Okay, so Progessence Plus Peggy has it. So Progessence Plus, on the other hand, is balancing progesterone. So that has a plant-based progesterone mimicker from yams, and it's super, super, oh my gosh, amazing. So when I get my period, any kind of menstruation in a woman, it is triggered by the plummeting of their progesterone. So right before your menstruation happens, bam, your progesterone drops. You won't get a period if your progesterone doesn't drop, right? So like your progesterone dropped. And that's when I feel the most like, that's when you're like cranky. I get headaches. I'm feeling the most symptoms from my period. There's Katie's got her Progessence Plus. And you can see Katie and both Peggy, they put roller tops on theirs. And I have that too. It makes it super convenient. So when I get that plummet, that huge drop in progesterone right before I get my period, I actually apply I carry that Progessence Plus with me. Karen Gurman knows I carry my oils in my bra for easy access, unless I have jeans or something on that has like a pocket. But so like I carry it on me. Otherwise, I won't reach for it as easily, right? Mm-hmm. So it's on my body, and I get that roller bottle. Peggy, can you demo? I just roll it all over my head. Around my neck, wherever I'm feeling it, where I'm like,
you can use it on your inner thigh too. And a lot of women around their cycle can get headaches, and try Progessence Plus.
That's what I do. Yeah. That's what I do. And it gets rid of it, and then it comes back like, I don't know, like 2 hours later, and then I just do it again, right? So we're not making claims any here. We're not doctors. We're not making claims to our oils, but I'm just saying when I get headaches, that's what I use.
Just try it. We're just experiencing we're just talking about what has worked.
Yeah, but I'm not on my face. I'm not on the video.
Peggy,
yes.
Is Progessence Plus beneficial after menopause?
Absolutely. So I think, we have a number of people on this call that are in my aged age bracket, but this is amazing. And also I use Chlorescence. That's my favorite. I use these too. So or when I run out of Chlorescence, I'll use the Clary Sage. So like Clary Sage, Chlorescence is actually an oil blend. Unlike Clary Sage, there is Clary Sage in here, and it is a phytoestrogen. So it helps. I think it's a really good one for when after perimenopausal, menopause, and then thereafter. Progessence is super important, ongoing, and it really helps with the typical, postmenopausal stuff, the dryness. I've noticed this combination, in addition to a couple of supplements I'll tell you about, has actually, I mean, you know how, I don't know if you realize, but if you've gone through menopause, one of the common symptoms that women has is a thinning of the vaginal lining, which can make sex very painful, along with the dryness. And I have experienced zero. I mean, I was drier in my 20s than I am now. So this is, I mean, and there's absolutely no thinning of the lining. And when I talk to women my age and they tell me about that, I said, oh my heavens, that could be me. So, but I've been using these, I've been using the Progestins Plus since it came out at Young Living Convention. And also I started using Chlorescence because that's what Gary used to help Mary be able to get pregnant. Mary had not been able to get pregnant until she was well into her 50s, wasn't she? I mean, like when she conceived. And Gary was giving her like tons of this. And they did a hormone panel when she was pregnant. They said her hormone panel was that of like 30, in her 35-year-old. So it's really crazy. Now I'm sure she used a lot more than just we're rolling it on. She was actually taking capsules of it. And this is in the Vitality line as well. But anyway, Progestins Plus is fabulous. And I love the smell. And so these oils are super helpful, as we age, so that, we don't have to be all washed up and wrinkled up and dry like a turkey.
Can you use them after a hysterectomy?
Yes, you can.
Also after labor, also after having baby, progesterone drops, and using Progestins Plus helps to make the milkies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dr. Dan Purser, who formulated Progestins Plus, says that after birth is probably the #1 time to be using Progestins Plus because I talked about that plummet of progesterone. Well, after birth, it really plummets.
Yeah, and our hormones are directly related to how we feel, directly related to possible postpartum depression and trouble lactating, awful sleep, and a terrible mood. It's all part of it, but you don't have to have just had a baby to experience some of these repercussions of hormone imbalance. Yeah, Super Bees are awesome. Just I don't know, I love the whole conversation. I'm such a walking testimony to how this stuff has helped me. I wish I knew after my first 2 were born. Life would have been a whole lot easier.
Yeah, for real. I'm feeling that way right now. Could Progestins Plus stop your period?
No.
Okay, then I have something else going on. Okay. Which is not pregnancy because I've took like 80 million tests, so it's not that. I'm just thinking like I started heavily using that. And then, yeah, so, okay, never mind.
Well, it's a very gentle, but it goes directly in the bloodstream, so it's very effective. But it's not like taking a progesterone medication. It's much more gentle than that, which is why we can use it throughout the day, or as much as we, is needed. So I don't think that this could be causing what you're describing.
Talking about ages, my daughter is 13 and I started her on Progestins Plus on the first day of her first period.
Mm-hmm. And how is it
Progestins
helping her?
Plus is
Okay. I just had a question, Jen. How have you seen that to be helpful for that teenage mood kind of weathering the kind of mood swings that can be so common at that age?
Yeah, I mean, she gets her period and there was no, like she said that her moods don't make me think that she's getting her period, right? But she will say she'll get some like hip pains. That's what she kind of triggers her to know that, but right now I'm in more of the process with her of just, and me too. You always want to remember to use it. The oils only work if you use them. So, starting that habit young is beneficial. But how can we remember to use our oils? I like to put my Progessence Plus bottle next to my toothbrush because I brush my teeth every day. I don't skip brushing my teeth. So if I see it next to my toothbrush, I'll remember to use it. You can associate things with, things that you do every day. When you want to try to create a habit, associate it with something that you're already doing. So if you want to take, thieves every day and you drink a cup of coffee every day, put your thieves next to your coffee, or, a bathroom is a good spot. So.
Keep them all around your house where you use them. I always suggest that. My citrus oils and my Endoflex and my Adrenal is in my kitchen because I do it every morning while I'm drinking my water. My Chlorescence Plus, like you, Jen, is where my in my bathroom, because I open up, get my toothpaste, slap on my Chlorescence Plus. I do it at night when I brush my teeth. So keeping them all around the house and where you use them. You have to use them if you want them to work.
Keeping Progessence Plus in your nightstand. If you want to increase your libido, because we talk about the inner thigh roller, but as a prerequisite to the inner thigh roller, you have to have the desire to use the inner thigh roller, right? As a precursor to that, Progessence Plus in 75% of women increases libido because it increases the progesterone in the body, which is typically for most of us lacking. And then similarly, you can sneak the tree oils, the spruce oils, Idaho blue spruce, or balsam fir, or Northern Lights black spruce into your husband's underwear. And then you guys can both.
Should we do another DIY?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to make a Sweet Dreams pillow spray. So if you have a spray bottle, get out your spray bottle. If not, you can easily make this into a roller bottle also. So it doesn't have to be a spray, whatever one you love most. Can somebody type in recipe while I chat?
Sure.
So I'm going to give 3 different recipes. So the first one is going to be, I'll give a starter kit recipe first. So if you want a Sweet Dreams with the starter kit, you'll do 15 drops each, peace and calming and lavender, and then 10 drops frankincense. So that's the premium starter kit. If you have the oils that we talked about for the class in the class recipe, your Sweet Dreams pillow spray is going to be, and I'm going to make this one with you guys, cedarwood. So we're going to do 15 drops each of these oils: cedarwood, lavender, and Northern Lights black spruce. This is going to be the one I'm making right now. So 15 drops each in a spray. My spray bottle is a 2-ounce spray bottle.
So a funny testimony that I got from a Plus Oils member about cedarwood is that it helped her sleep so well. She was having trouble sleeping. She put it on her big toe. So the big toe is a reflexology point of your brain. And she put it on her big toe and she slept so well, she peed her bed.
Oh,
Wow.
I bet you didn't know I was going there.
No, that was a surprise. I'm not sure that's a great endorsement, but
now I love this recipe so much. The combination of cedarwood, Northern Lights black spruce, and lavender is actually one of my favorites. So if you really like this combination, 3 drops each in your diffuser next to your bed at night is also awesome.
Yeah, and lavender is a classic sleep oil. I didn't get any bedwetting stories on that one, but but the next one, the Northern Lights that you put in there, I love Northern Lights black spruce, and any of the tree oils, whether it's spruce or pine.
Northern Lights is a favorite.
It's very grounding. It's really Grand Fir is another one that's like that. My husband was getting really anxious and he put Grand Fir on his back where his adrenal glands are, and like instantly done. Like,
wow,
so grounding.
Very grounding. So if you're making the spray, what we're going to do is a small, just squirt of witch hazel, or if you still have your Tito's out, you can do a very small splash of Tito's, one for you, one for the spray bottle, and then fill it up with water. So the witch hazel or vodka, and if you're using witch hazel, you want to use an alcohol-free one, and if you're using vodka, not flavored.
And if you don't have witch hazel or vodka, then just make sure you shake your bottle before each use. Obviously, if you're doing a roll-on, then you don't need, if you're making a roll-on, then you're going to use a carry oil, no water. And then if you're not using water, then you don't need vodka or witch hazel.
Yeah. So if you do this recipe in a roller to make a sleepy roller, you could do however many drops each you want. Like Jen said, it's really personal preference, but 10 drops each, fill it up with a carrier oil. And then this is an amazing sleepy oil. I also wanted to give a sexy spray if you want a sexy sheet spray. And that is 6 drops orange, 4 drops patchouli, 4 ylang ylang, sensation, and orange. So I can type that in, but that is a sexy sheet spray and something else you can do with your sensation if you have that. And if you don't have it and you're not into like bedroom oils, it is a beautiful smelling oil and can be used just as a perfume. It's really a very, very gorgeous floral oil.
Nice.
I'm going to type in the sexy sheet spray recipe.
Vanessa, did you have frankincense in the Sweet Dreams pillow spray?
For the PSK version, Peace and Calming, Lavender, and Frank. But in this one, the Sweet Dreams pillow spray is just 15 drops each, cedarwood, lavender, and Northern Lights black spruce.
Okay, so Jess, yes, I
add
did not put frankincense in the premium starter kit version. So for everyone who is jotting down recipes, if you're using premium starter kit oils for Sweet Dreams pillow spray, it's 15 drops each of Peace and Calming, lavender, and frankincense.
Yep.
So I missed frankincense in the chat. Thank you, Jess.
Thank you.
And really any recipe
is a sexy sheet spray, is that like an aphrodisiac? Those are aphrodisiac oils, right?
Yeah, so it'll, spray it like 20 minutes before you get, or, do a lot of fun stuff while waiting. And Aubrey, you're making me like blush because I was like cheerleader in high school with you and I haven't seen you since. Now I'm talking. Hey, here's friend. Karen's here. Should I go get her? She's sleeping.
Go get her.
Yeah, so it would be amazing as the sexy sheet spray would be great to like spray around your room, get in the mood. It smells beautiful. You could also put that in your diffuser too. The floral smelling one is Sensation. So that's the one that, we've been talking about a lot. So in Sensation,
I love Sensation. I love this.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I wear it sometimes just as a perfume. So it's coriander, ylang ylang, bergamot, jasmine, and geranium. Oh my gosh, it's like
and it's just so soft
smelling bottle.
A lot of floral oils to me smell like my grandma, and I don't like them. But Sensation is very soft and gentle and feminine and beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful smelling oil.
All right, Katie, you want to do the last DIY?
Which one is it?
Bath salts.
The bath salts?
I thought you were on deck for that, but that's all right. We can wing it.
I very well may have been on deck for that, but I did not bring my supplies. However, I can grab them right there. I can shake up the self-care bath salts. This is what we're talking about. The first part of what we mentioned was self-care the self-care aspect of feeling sexy and feeling confident and knowing that we are beautiful from within.
Yeah.
Bath salts are so easy. Do I even have to like get up to do that? I can easily explain it. What you need is a mason jar. We always want to use glass with our oils, and this goes for other than our medical grade plastic diffusers, which do not degrade from the oils. But if you're ever drinking your vitality oils for your health, or you're putting your longevity or your citrus oils in your Ningxia Red cocktail, make sure you're not putting your oils in plastic. Plastic is synthetic. It has those phthalates that Jen was talking about earlier that mimic genuine estrogen in the body. And they wreak havoc on our hormones. They're actually directly related to tumors and cancer. So you want to stay away from plastic. So in a glass mason jar, you want to put your Epsom salts. So if you have an average size tub, I would say, I kind of go generous on my Epsom salts. How about you, Jen? Do you feel like I don't sprinkle them in?
The main purpose of the Epsom salt is because oil and water doesn't mix. So the main purpose is really to help mixing your oils into the bath water. So.
Right. But also the Epsom salts are a magnesium sulfate, which are very, very detoxifying for the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you mix those with the essential oils, yes, you want to like combine it in the water. Exactly. So we're doing the mason jar, however many Epsom salts you want. Sprinkle your essential oils on top. If you're using your starter kit oils, you can use similar oils to the Sweet Dreams sheet spray. You can choose lavender. You can choose Valor, even essential oil blend in your bath salts is incredibly liberating. Stress away, I mentioned, you can use frankincense, you can use lavender.
Don't use
even
peppermint.
a little.
No
Yeah.
peppermint. I don't like
Peppermint
peppermint.
is like, there's like a certain kind, like some places you don't want to be that tingly. Maybe you do. I don't know.
It's kind of an individual thing. I'm not really into that peppermint kind of thing, but
yeah, peppermint might be a little intense for your bath salts. I might save that for your headache if you've had too many Ningxia cocktails. I don't know.
On the other hand, if you've had a super tough day and the kids have been driving you crazy and you're just exhausted, peppermint can kind of perk you up. So, and revive.
Oh, yeah.
So, there's that.
That's true. Well, the idea of mixing, shaking your mason jar with Epsom salts helps to distribute the essential oils among the salts and then dissipate them in the bathtub. Mm-hmm. So what you don't want to do is like dump your salts in the tub and then start dropping your oils. No, it doesn't even really matter what oils they are. It just, with the heat of the water opening up your pores, it can be uncomfortable in certain areas. So we want to distribute the oils really well in the tub. I personally like to add baking soda to my bathtubs as well when we do baths, because it really helps to purify and detoxify the skin and the liver, and it helps to cleanse the lymph nodes as well. Mm-hmm. So there's no reason you can't put a few drops of Chlorescence Plus in your bath salts. Clary sage, peace and calming, absolutely, just by itself. My kids take baths in peace and calming and frankincense all the time. And that is unwinding self-care. If you have 3 kids like me and baths seem like this foreign friends that you would love to reconnect with, like, when am I going to take a bath? Then do it as a foot soak, do a little self-care real quick as a foot soak. Of course, use a lot less Epsom salt and baking soda, and you can be a little bit more liberal with your oils in the water at that point. But the purpose is to give yourself some self-care, some time to breathe and focus on your breath, inhale the goodness of the oils, let them affect your brain, so that we show up better for our husband and our kids and the rest of life.
Mm-hmm. And a little tip. So what do we do with our bottles that are empty? Well, I have a big, huge ceramic bowl that I think was designed for like a mixing bowl, but it's really cool. And I just throw all my empties in there. And when I draw a bath, I'll just pick a couple, 2 or 3 that I think would smell and I would be really enjoyable. I'll pop off the tops. I'll throw them in the bottom of the bathtub. I'll fill it up. I put in the salts and it all kind of mixes together. And that's a great way to use up the dribs and the drabs that are in the bottle. Because let's face it, every drop is too valuable to waste. And you could do a foot bath with that, or maybe you might, sometimes I have a bunch of raindrop oils left over, and I might feel like I need a little immune support. So I'll throw a few of those bottles in there and, with the salts, and then have a nice, immune supporting bath. So get creative and use every last drop and then some.
Yeah, it's a great tip. What ounce size bottle do you suggest for the pillow spray? I would say like 3 or 4 ounces.
Or even 2. Sometimes when you mix up your oils with the liquid, they can, if you don't use it as up enough, they can degrade. It depends on which oils. Like citrus oils don't tend to last as well in those kind of sprays, but like a 2 ounces, a pretty nice size.
I think this is a 2 ounce.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on how much you think you'll use it. And, you can do a 1 ounce bottle and just try the scent first and then refill it if you love it.
Mm-hmm.
But the recipe that I shared was for what I made in a 2 ounce.
Okay. The great thing with our oils and a recipe like pillow spray, just real quick, even if you decide to make a 4 ounce bottle, you can use it as a facial mist.
Mm-hmm.
You can use it as a grumpy spray for the kids if they need a different kind of atmosphere to just kind of like twirl their body in. Like the oils have such a profound effect on the brain. They can be a room spray, they can be a body mist,
Laundry mist.
Oh my gosh, yes. Laundry refresher. Maybe you put out a set of towels in your bathroom and you're like, meh, these smell like musty. You can spray your linen closet with it. And the oils are so pure and natural that they're good for our linens. They're good for our skin. They're good for the air. And a recipe like Vanessa shared is just, it's so versatile,
Yeah, I would do it on like my baby's crib sheet, my pillowcases, my bed sheets, pillow, like anything. Yeah. I just sprayed it on myself all over.
I sprayed all over my face.
Yeah. All over.
I spray it on my hair when my hair looks weird and I need to kind of like restyle it. I'll just spray it on my hair and do that. Wow. This was a super fun class and we have such great ideas. So does anyone have any questions? We don't want to stay on too late because we might be a little inspired now. So we need to get off before our husbands are asleep.
Peggy.
Katie, how much baking soda do you add to your bath?
So about a quarter in a ratio, whatever amount of bath salts I'm adding, I would say on average, I would say a quarter to a third of the baking soda. So less, but it's very cleansing.
Cool. All right, so we have next week we have a Circle of Success call. So if you are new to Young Living or you want to learn about the financial opportunity that Young Living has, I think it's one of Young Living's best products is their income opportunity. So if you want to kind of just get your feet wet with that and kind of see where that goes, join that call.
Was that on Monday or Tuesday? Did we switch that to Tuesday?
Oh, sorry. Did I say that's on Monday night?
Okay.
So that's next Monday night. You can get reminders if you text the number, my business number. If you text Vanessa, you ready? 973-475-8723. If you text business call, you'll get reminders to that. And Peggy, you are doing another Dive Deeper call in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from tonight. And that's on liver cleansing. So it's very timely because bodies want to cleanse in the springtime. Does anyone on this call get allergies in the spring? Some sniffles, maybe some sneezes? That means that your liver needs a little support. All right. And your liver needs extra support in the springtime. So Peggy's going to be giving tips on how to do that in preparation for the spring, which I think is so important.
Well, and also a lot of people have skin issues, and that's also indication of toxic liver. Or maybe we're prone to get really pissed off about stuff, that we didn't get so pissed off before. So that's, anger, and people who are kind of volatile or get really irritable, that can be liver. So there's many indications that, it's time to do some cleansing. And like you said, Jen, spring is the perfect time. Well, actually, any time is pretty perfect, but spring is the classic time to clean the liver.
Spring is in Chinese medicine when the lunar clock of the body actually wants to cleanse the liver. So that's most definitely the best time to do that, for sure. If anybody did not get a brochure and would like for me to pop one in the mail to them, there's some pretty awesome recipes on here too. Was just reminded, who has their brochure, but there's a soldier serum and a love button stroking jelly.
Yes, my husband came in as I was prepping for the class, and he's like, what are these two and how quick can you order these oils?
I know, if anyone's husband complains about oils when it comes to be February, they seem to have no complaints. It's so bizarre.
Like my ER order price last month, but now you want all these soldier serum oils.
I've heard that so many times. Yeah. Well, let me know. I'll take a look at the comments before we close the call. If you didn't get one and you would like one, I have extras. I'm happy to send you one.
It's funny, Jess.
Talking about men, we didn't really get to talk much about them, but Idaho Blue Spruce, I would say, is the #1 man's oil. And in this book, she talks about taking 8 drops a day of Idaho Blue Spruce in a capsule. And they did a study, and 8 drops a day of Idaho Blue Spruce in a capsule showed a 30% increase in testosterone in only 2 weeks. So really significant study. And then some reported higher levels. And so she said even with 5 drops a day, you'll see an increase. So and her book is just so hilarious the way she writes, like you'll crack up.
Totally hilarious. Well, the recipes are kind of an indication of her sense of humor, I'll just say.
Right. And then we can't have a Valentine's Day class without talking about goldenrod. So goldenrod is
what that's about.
Goldenrod is a plant, and it's what it actually you can make tea out of goldenrod. And you don't really need an explanation for it. Goldenrod.
No, I think we got.
But get if you're into it and you want to learn more, definitely get the book. It's hilarious, and really informative. She's got some really good information in there. All right, so I hope to see you on the next Dive Deeper call. What?
Someone had a question about using nutmeg. I heard nutmeg, Melissa. I heard nutmeg is a sexy oil. I haven't tried it, but has anyone tried it?
Well, it's really more for adrenals. So obviously, we don't feel very inclined or sexy if we're in fight or flight, or if we're adrenal exhausted. So I think that's really the value of nutmeg. I think primarily, Jen, I cut you. What were you about to say about that?
I do know that it's in a lot of her recipes. I'm not sure why, except for what you just said.
No, it's definitely energizing. So,
I know why nutmeg.
Why?
So it's blood pumping and it's a must for your mister.
Oh.
Nutmeg's energizing properties stimulate both physical and sexual energy. Some people feel wired after diffusing or ingesting it. Can be comparable to a caffeine kick for between the sheets. Nutmeg is an aphrodisiac in more than one way, stimulates energy, increases circulation. It is the king of vasodilation. Blood vessels and dilation makes bigger.
Woo. Okay.
So you can do the math.
Yeah.
Liz is asking, what about magnesium flakes with oils to your bath?
Oh my gosh, magnesium flakes are not cheap, but we are typically all deficient in magnesium. Those would be absolutely fantastic in the bath. They take longer to dissolve, but they're so healthy, so incredibly detoxifying. Not as popular as Epsom salts, but definitely beneficial. I would say yes. And they pair very well with oils.
Yeah, and increasing your magnesium will also increase your vitamin D absorption, which is
right. Those flakes have such a high mineral content.
So I like Kimmy's sense of humor. She says, "That's nuts."
Oh, that's funny. That's so funny.
Does anybody have
That is
any
so
other
great.
oils that